episode like that?
We'll just start it off. We're already in the middle of a conversation. Why not? Welcome to another episode of the Guerrilla Press. We are the Wrestling Dorks. I am John, joined as always over here. To my left is the man. He is the IRS to my $1 million man, Ted DiBiase. Sam, hello.
As you joined us, I was just singing Ted DiBiase's entrance music. I'm terrible with pitch, but it was, it's a great song. I mean,
you're not going to sing it now.
No, I'm not.
Okay, thank God.
I won't, because I know you'll get mad because you're so professional, Maggle.
I got to do it. It's got to be right or don't do it at all. No half-ass, all full-ass. We are total dorks. We are not just wrestling dorks, but we are total dorks. When Sam walked in to the recording studio this afternoon, I was singing the Big Show song. And Sam goes, "Oh, I happen to be singing the Big Show song on my way over here." So we're both losers, just walking around on our own, going, "Well," and then coming up with stupid lyrics.
Yeah, that's like the best song for me to jam in like crazy dumb lyrics and then just sing it in that Big Show song voice.
Anything you could just say, "Well, it's the." Oh, see, no, it doesn't work. No, I can't think of anything. So we got a lot to cover. We had a pay-per-view Sunday night. It was. Ups and downs, I would say, for that pay-per-view, and I think it got a lot of buzz on the internet, if nothing else, for the internet wrestling community. So let's get into it. We'll talk about our personal lives later. We can't talk so much about wrestling this week. Last week,
it's too much.
I got to tell you, I listened back to our episode, and it wasn't us.
Well, it's the Wrestling Dorks.
God, a good thing this
is
gonna
be a bad podcast last week.
Yes, last week was awful. I'm glad this is a soundproof recording studio. My neighbors don't hear that at all. Thank God. Last week, too much wrestling. If you guys like wrestling, it's probably a good podcast for you, but I can't imagine you do. So, Money in the Bank. Let's kick it off with the big controversy. Carmella wins the briefcase. What were your thoughts?
I guess it worked out if you're calling it the big controversy.
I think it is. It was every like post, recap show podcast. Well, it's like the big topic.
We have to talk about this in real time since both episodes have played out.
But
I liked it. I thought it was effective. Remember, these are predetermined results.
Right.
And I absolutely hated what they did on SmackDown. Despised it.
Yep.
So she even brought up how there's precedent and all this, and made a compelling argument for why the decision shouldn't be overturned. And then we were robbed of a women's history. No, this stuff isn't like. Yes, I get that the first women's Money in the Bank saying, "Oh, a man won it." No. It's part of the storyline.
Yeah, see, that was my original thoughts.
Yeah.
I had that beef at first.
Pissed me off on SmackDown so much. Well, next week we're going to have another. Like, what was the point then of even having that Money in the Bank match? Just for that, like, plus the Money in the Bank is kind of like a high-risk match. So you had everybody out there having one of those, like, matches where sometimes somebody gets hurt, and then you're going to be like, we're going to do it over.
Yep.
I mean, I guess maybe that was their thought all along. Who knows? Or maybe they just got so much backlash. Because, WWE, kind of flies by the seat of their pants. No foresight sometimes. Kind of like the Fells.
The Fells Wargo.
Yeah.
The foresight, lack of, which I hear they've got a new incentive plan now.
I hear something's rolling out.
That's insane.
It only took them 9 months since the last one, and they were just paying everybody for 9 months, no matter what they did,
no matter what kind of work they did.
Biggest bank in the U.S. Hope you don't have stock right now.
We're talking about Bank of America, of course.
Bofa.
But the whole Carmella thing. In the moment, I was like, "This sucks." And then as I thought more about it and read some more stuff, I was like, "You know what? This is actually a great storyline. She could really, as a heel."
Right.
I talked to a couple people, including Dan, who said, "Stop getting so wrapped up in the analysis of it and go with the storyline." And I'm like, you know what? He's right. And I just was like, you know what? It's a great story. And now they fucking killed that story. It would be like, those Royal Rumbles where two guys land? It would be like, in 2 weeks, let's have another Royal Rumble. Because none of that shit mattered. It would be exactly like that. Like, why would we have this Money in the Bank pay-per-view and now 2 weeks later, we're just going to do it again?
Perfect scummy heel tactic win.
Yep.
Gets her the briefcase. I liked how she came out and teased it.
Yep.
And then apparently that's what their new tactic is going to be, is the constant tease.
Yeah,
because Baron Corbin did it too.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool idea for one person to do it. Maybe if they do a constant every week tease, but not every time, every week, every whatever.
Do you realize that in the pay-per-view, and we can kind of buzz through it, Naomi was the only face to win any match, unless you count the Breezango, that shit match that happened. But Jinder won the title. Baron Corbin won that briefcase. Carmella won that briefcase. The Usos kept their title because they won, or they, the count out. What did you think of that? Do you like that?
I mean, I don't really ever think about, now at this point in my life, the heels and face dynamic breakdown.
Right.
Sending the crowd home, except for maybe like Mania. Sometimes I'll think like, all right, typically at Mania they want to have more people
that's the season finale, right?
Yeah, that are like fan whatever win. But
right.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that dynamic at all. I mean, I was fine with who won the matches. It was basically all the favorites we talked about.
The betting odds from last week were pretty much all dead on.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it, how these websites pretty much get this information? Probably because I think what works out is there's really sharp guys out there that always win money on these events.
Right.
Now, we can argue how they get this information.
See, I would think that they just go off of what makes most sense.
Here's what I think. Somebody was talking about they're like, oh, these betting websites are spoiling stuff. And I'm like, no, it's not the freaking betting website's fault. The first line they put out, probably they put out a line thinking, all right, here's what makes sense. But they also have, I'm sure, users that they can identify, and all this stuff is in like spreadsheets. All right, this guy is like won 30 straight bets.
Right.
So he probably has inside information. So when those type of accounts make their wager, and that's why the limits are low, $50, $100.
Right.
They're going to move the line, and eventually they're going to figure out, okay, this guy's betting it. Let's move the line. Oh, now this guy too, who always gets it right, bet it, and that's how the lines move, in my opinion. Because
that makes sense,
what's happening, and it's terrible to think this way, but so these results we know are predetermined. Most of the matches, everybody pretty much knows what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they hide some of the really big results, from what I've been told. But so maybe somebody tells, "Hey, man, tell me every winner." I'm going to go on the site, one of your friends, and I can make a couple $100 every pay-per-view. Well, that adds up, And maybe they want to tell their friend, and they don't care. They figure I'm never going to get caught because the account's not in my name.
Well, they never would get caught if it's a friend of theirs winning all the money. Yeah,
right.
And if the bets are that low, $100 at a piece.
Right.
Let me ask you something. We may have covered this in a previous episode. Where the hell do you make these bets?
On online websites.
Really? So
like Bovada used to have odds for it. There was like a website, betwrestling.com, but I think that was just a site that posted odds. I don't think you can necessarily wager them. 5 Dimes is a website that you can play. So yeah, it started really picking up in the last couple of years. It always used to be you could just bet on Mania or the Rumble, and now it's every pay-per-view.
Huh. Yeah, that's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, it's really wild.
And to answer your question, I have never done it just because I don't have one of those online accounts.
You're like, if I did?
Or if they took it in Vegas and I was out there, I would definitely...
Oh my God, I would bet on wrestling.
I bet on the UFC all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out there for a UFC event this weekend. It sucks. I don't really feel strong about anybody in UFC this weekend. And there's been all these last 5 that I've watched where I've really liked a guy, and I'm like, I want to bet on him, but I can't because gambling is illegal at Bushwood. And by Bushwood, I mean everywhere but Nevada. Bullshit.
So, anything else from the pay-per-view that you wanted to hit on? I mean, did we like the Jinder win over Randy Orton? I liked that he got the heat from messing around with the legends. Guess what? My AOL account settings are out of date.
It's always during the podcast. You always lose in your hometown, apparently.
Every time, and especially if your dad's on Father's Day. If your dad's dad in the audience on Father's Day in St. Louis.
I mean, they're really, given that, I'm glad they didn't short circuit this Jinder run.
Yeah,
I like the touch with the. I was pumped to see all those guys. Granted, those weren't the guys I kind of really grew up watching, but I knew of all of them because back in the day, ESPN used to show AWA wrestling reruns and stuff. So. Greg Gagne was there. He sucked, but whatever. He's old. I clapped for him sitting there.
Clapped.
But right away, people were asking me at this, who's this? I'm like, that's Baron Von Raschke. I'm like, he's going to give the claw thing. And he gave the claw, and I was so pumped. I don't know why.
I know why, because you're a dork.
And I love that Slaughter still has to dress in Sergeant Slaughter, like he walks around every day in camouflage things.
The only time he didn't was when he was the commissioner during the DX time, remember? And he'd spit on everybody.
Or when he was the Iraqi sympathizer.
Well, yeah there's that. Yeah, good old WrestleMania 7.
But I love how when they grabbed Orton, Flair's don't make me do something, but he didn't do it.
Flair looks like I don't think he knows where he is anymore. Like, that smile, he might have been drunk. He has that, like, where the fuck am I smile.
No, that's his always. I got a picture with Flair. You saw that picture.
Yeah.
And his smile, that's how it is. But he was, like, had his fist cocked like he was going to hit Jinder, but then, like, he wasn't. And then you could tell, like, he was holding his dad, and the dad was, like, looking, when's Randy coming? I know. He's like, you know.
Isn't it funny to think back? Jinder was the guy that fucked with Gronkowski at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Now he's the WWE champion.
Yeah, Jinder jobbed the Gronkowski and your boy Mojo.
Yeah, Mojo. Which, how did they do? I didn't get to see the pre-show. I hear that they
won.
Did you get to see it?
Yeah, they won. No, I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. All right, thank God. All right, so no Mojo this week.
Well, he was on Smack. They now, and they had a good point. It was stupid. It was on SmackDown. And they were like, they won the freaking that Battle Royal where Ryder tore up his knee, and he's like, we never got that title shot. It's still different. Like. And Dan Bryan's like, a long time passed by, and I don't agree. I think they should still get their title shot.
Oh, you fucking Mojo lover.
No, like, they deserve it. And then Daniel Bryan was like, but I'll give you a chance to earn one next week. And I was like, okay, they have to beat some shitty team or something. Against the Usos. I'm like, so they have to beat the champs to get a shot at the champs?
What?
Like, what the hell?
So wait, so now the New Day's just off?
No, but it was just like giving them, I think they're splitting up. So I think this is the match where they're going to split up. Like I said, remember what you said before, I think they're splitting up.
You think Ryder's going heel and I think Mojo's going heel?
Yeah, I mean, they're splitting up.
Right.
So, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't get, like, that. I know it's predetermined, but the fairness should have been, they should have just came back and had a title shot against the Usos, and the breakup could have just happened there.
I like that they brought it up, though. I mean, it wasn't just like completely forgotten. The continuity is nice.
Yeah.
They don't do that very often, so that part is cool.
But yeah, it was that segment they had in the back, so they got that match coming up. So New Day's still in the picture.
They're still in the picture. So we're gonna have Orton Jinder 3 coming up. Is that what's going on? They're not straying away from the Randy thing?
No. I mean,
do they just think nobody else is worthy of the number one contender?
I don't know. I mean, I watched this past week's SmackDown. I liked the Randy segment in the back.
No, it was good.
I thought it was a good idea too because it made you think he wasn't there. Yeah. And then when he struck at the end, you know.
No, it's good. I'm just wondering, like, the pattern lately has been, if you lose 2 in a row, you're done. He's on to the next guy, and it's just weird that they're giving Orton another shot at it.
And I feel like he's been bringing more intensity, Randall Keith, lately. I mean,
yeah, the best part is when he lays out the Singh brothers. That's like that's the show right there.
That time when he did, and then he made the like
whoops a daisy, I killed a man.
Yeah, that was one of the better things Orton's done lately. Like that GIF or whatever. Like I would love to play that for like any time.
The Akeem GIF and then the Randy Orton whoops a daisies GIF.
Like I don't care. They're like 2 foot tall, and I make $5 billion, and they probably make like 3 times as much as we do.
So, what did you think of the Kevin Owens Open Challenge? Since we're on to SmackDown, what did you think of that? I mean, isn't it kind of like copying off of Cena?
Yeah, and Cena's coming back though on Smack. Well, he's a free agent or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
in 2 weeks. Whoops. Sorry.
And then I really thought there was going to be a guy from like that. They had Gable come out, but that was a really good match.
That was a great match.
Like,
Gable is really good.
So like, neither are injured, I guess. Right now,
I don't think they're injured. No, I just think that they don't know what to do with them. I think that they want to break them up.
They've been off for so long.
I think Gable, he to me can play that Sami Zayn role, the guy that's constantly beaten down, but you're always going to root for him.
I mean, he's just ridiculous with those freaking suplexes, the strength.
He's really good.
And he did that top rope, the moonsault. I mean, I was impressed.
Yeah, he's got it. So
still got it.
He does still have it.
How's the what?
How's the what's the Ty Dillinger selling milkshakes now? I mean,
I might have missed that.
He's one of the most over guys on the fucking roster, and
well, at one point maybe when he came in, but they didn't do anything.
They have them doing Sonic milkshake commercials now. Like what kind of like?
He's like, would he give the milkshake a 10?
It's just there's. I mean, I like that they brought out Gable, and we had the Mojo and Zack Ryder, so it's a little bit different people, but. Ty Dillinger, I feel like if he comes out, he gets a huge reaction.
I feel like Jinder should be pushing the Sonic milkshakes, and he can be like, "This milkshake is the modern day Maharaja of milkshakes," something along those lines.
Nice. No, I don't know.
I didn't see. I must have when I was going through. Must have missed the milkshakes.
Yeah, no, I caught it.
I might have thought it was a commercial and just missed it.
I did catch it, and then I heard
brings all the boys to the yard.
I happened to hear that Myron and the Legend talked about it on their podcast too. So
cross promotion there.
Yeah, pretty
Myron and the Legend show.
Yeah, pretty decent show. But, you know what I mean? So listen to that today while I was at work. If you guys
got you through the day,
it got me through the day. So check it out if you haven't checked out their WWE recap show that they do. It's like ours, but a little more stretched out, a little more detail, a little less personal life.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how's the weight loss going?
Oh, yeah. I think I've lost 4 pounds.
That's not bad. Over 6 months, not bad. How long till Vegas? How much more time do we have to lose?
See, we didn't ever cover this on the air, so they don't know where we're coming from.
No,
but yeah, I was trying to lose like 15 pounds in 2 weeks. It's a little bit harder than you think when you're.
It's not harder than you think. I think it's impossible
when you're 34. But I've steadily. I'm running out of time, but I'm down about 4 pounds in 9 or 10 days.
When do you leave?
I leave Sunday. I think I'm going to be able to get down 7 or 8 in 2 weeks.
Okay. Do you want? I mean, I see you staring at those nacho chips over there. Do you want
Stop.
some? Do you want some tortilla? They're a hint of lime. It's a fresh bag.
I think I've already gone over for today.
Oh Christ! So, what are you doing to lose this weight? I mean, are you doing anything?
Starvation.
So, like, for example, yesterday, what was your diet? What did you eat for the whole day?
It's a good question. So, yesterday, great. I'm going to be sounding an idiot. So, I had Nature Valley, those crunchy bars, that package.
You ate
in the
both
morning.
of them? You fucking
190
monster.
calories.
You're such a pig.
So then the job brings in apple dumplings. And I feel like I have to eat one. I'm going to look like a jerk for not eating it.
Because if, as a fat man, if you don't eat the snack that's brought in, they're like, you're a fucker. Like, you get that look. Somebody brought in donut munchkins yesterday, and I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, you got away with one, though.
Well, yeah, but still. So I'm sorry, you had the apple dumpling.
So I used that as my lunch. I ate an apple dumpling for lunch. Then I had the bright idea of playing tennis in the heat for an hour and a half with like no food. I gassed out. Like I took a 1-0 lead. I was in it for a little bit, and I just got tired, and my friend ended up smoking me. We played a 10-game pro set. I think I lost 10-3 or 10-4. My back tightened up. I mean, this getting old shit sucks, man. I got this plantar fasciitis problem in my left foot. So anyway, I came home after that, and I had a little bit of a salad and a ham steak. And that was it. So
it's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So what about Sunday night? I mean, you're dieting. What did you have Sunday night?
Sunday was like a Father's Day get together thing. So we went out to. I was pretty good there, man. We went to a place. Yeah.
I see. I'd have a hard time with that going out with family. There's no way I could hold.
I ate no pizza at this place. With like everybody was eating slices of pizza. I had one beer. I had one piece of bread. And I had I had a salad with cheese, and I had like a dish of linguine and 2 meatballs, which ain't bad for me when I'm going.
That's not bad. Yeah. So what is your? I mean, you don't have to say your actual weight if you're afraid. So did you adjust your goal? Well, I don't know.
No,
did you adjust
what's my weight? I am 226 pounds.
Did you adjust your goal for Vegas?
And I'm 6'8", by the way. All right. Did I adjust my goal by Sunday?
Yeah, because since you obviously are not going to lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks.
11 more pounds.
You're a fucking maniac.
Whatever it was. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get to 220.
You know today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
that's
I'd like
2 pounds
to get to 220. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, so what? 1.5 pounds a day? Is that what you're saying?
I think I can do it. I mean,
my AOL account settings are out of date. Hold on, let me update those.
Yeah, so I started this trek at 230.1, and this morning I was 226.4 with wet hair.
Maybe if you shaved your body.
Oh, that's cheating.
But think about all the wet body hair that you've got.
Yeah,
we've talked about this before. How we're disgusting hairy monsters. If you shaved your wet body hair, you could probably be 218.
I'm not looking to freaking lose fake weight.
Hey, that's what the women do.
I'm not trying to make like a UFC weigh-in or something. Which, like I said, so my original goal was to get to 215. Whatever. I'm heading to Vegas. For the National Bowling Tournament. Probably going to gain some weight out there just from drinking and eating and everything. We'll see what I come back at. So my original goal, and it'll be to get down to 215. Then I'm setting the next secondary goal will be to qualify for 205 live, baby.
Yeah, I've never seen a 6'8", 205 pound
Can
man.
Can you handle this?
Oh my god!
Me and Rich Swann, head to head, baby.
36-year-old rookie wrestler at 205.
So hey, the Brian Kendrick is up there in years.
I guess, yeah. You could do it. You can do it. I think you can hit it. And
can you handle this?
And then after 205 is the JB goal. You try to hit me even
wherever you're at
I'm 5'7".
So if you keep dropping down, I'm gonna have to keep trying to manage.
I can't drop shit, man. I have the worst metabolism.
You drink too much.
I drink too much. I'm drinking right now.
Case in point.
Your text the other day was pretty hilarious. You said that you want a scientific study done on me to see why I can't lose weight.
I mean, you're always like, I'm going for a run. I just ran 68 miles.
I did. I ran 3 last night, 3 miles in 29 minutes.
And
fucking
you
right.
probably gained, what,
and I'm 37.
6 pounds?
I'm 37 years old and 40 pounds overweight, and I did that. Think about that. Figure that out.
Yeah. Tell me in a few years when your ankle's completely busted when I watch you hobble around.
I take glucosamine pills, which helps with the joints. Can you handle this? So, we didn't touch on Raw, but back to wrestling.
Yeah. Raw. Yeah, what was that? That was like days ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. So we had the Hardys against the Club.
No. Let's just start with what... Braun!
Oh, that was the highlight.
I was laughing so hard.
He opened up the ambulance.
I heard the ambulance sound. I told you the other week, didn't I? Or I don't know if it was on air or off air, that Braun was coming back. Like, he was cleared.
I think you said it 2 weeks ago that he was not actually.
And that wasn't actually. It was just to build him up. Like, he's a monster coming back early from injury.
Right.
When I heard the ambulance backing up, I was like, I knew it was Braun. I didn't know if he was going to come out of the back or come out of the driver's seat. And when he came out and just did the arms raise and
I know. It was kind of silly.
Yeah, it was so funny, but it was like I enjoyed it. I mean, let's talk about that little whole segment right there. So
that was good.
So Roman lost. Of course, it wasn't clean.
Wasn't quite clean yet.
But he lost.
He sold that identified clutch well, though.
I didn't like. Did you see he like fucked up? He got out of it.
He did.
And Joe had to like reapply it. I don't think like that was like probably part of like. I don't think.
I feel like it was more realistic because realistically.
Well, realistically, that's not how that goes at all. But
but I mean, like you would escape a little bit maybe, and then Joe has to pull you back. Like, you know what I mean? If he's truly is a super powerhouse,
superhuman. He's more actually superhuman.
But like he completely sold it because like he even like at the end he was kind of like weak. Like his arms were like very weak.
That's what they're selling. Well, that's how they're selling. The Coquina Clutch now is, you know, back in the day when they did the sleeper, it was the drop the arm 3 times. And then which as a child I loved. My God, the Hogan. Yeah. Hogan had the most of the 2, and then the arm would drop. He'd hold it, and the finger wag. So now it's just they try to do like an MMA. They're trying to make it MMA.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked that segment. And then when I liked it too. Braun came out and he said he wasn't finished.
And he gave him that front forward choke slam.
Yep. So I like that move.
And then immediately Great Balls of Fire match.
Yeah.
I like that he's like challenged them, and then they're like, and it's a match. I'm like, they didn't even see him accept. Like, if Braun's so big,
if Roman can declare himself the #1 contender at SummerSlam, which is fucking bullshit. You can't just say
he's not going to be.
You don't think?
No.
You don't think?
No, it's Braun! Braun versus Lesnar. SummerSlam, headlines, book it.
All right.
Maybe Brock loses to Samoa Joe and Reigns. Because I like that. Dude, Samoa Joe is freaking good.
He's really good.
I mean, I knew he was good, but I'm like, I love it. He's getting this chance, and he's running with it. Like, he's so believable.
He really is.
And
it's everything. He like, you believe that he's a total badass. You believe that he could legitimately hurt somebody in the ring. Which he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, he's almost killed Tyson Kidd, but I mean, you really think like, oh my God, he's so strong that he could. Because like even when he wrenched back on Roman Reigns when he escaped and he pulled him back down, I was like, oh fuck, there goes his knee. Like Seth Rollins. I had a little bit of hope, but no, he's really. So let's move on. Miz has a faction. You think that that's a real thing?
I liked it.
No, I do too. But do you think it's an actual thing?
It'll elevate guys, and I like it gives Bo and the Axeman something to do.
But do you think you don't think it's a one-off?
No.
Okay.
I think it'll be like a thing for
we don't have it. There's no factions. There are zero factions.
It's a very loose, more like lackeys. Like you have the Singh brothers. They're going to be like his Singh brothers.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, you could have matches like Ambrose versus Axel, and you're right. It'll elevate Axel so he actually gets matches.
Yeah, he's seen at least. He's on TV.
Yeah. I liked it. No, like how I wrote that down.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Enzo and Cass, that was solid gold, baby. That was just good shit.
Like you said,
I was going to bed.
I think everybody thought, or most people thought, Cass.
Yeah. I was going to bed, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed because I want some sleep. And then when I saw that was the final thing, I was like, nah. So I just laid in bed and watched it on like the app on Comcast.
Did you remember what was that? The Rikishi story when Rikishi admitted to doing it.
I did it for the Rock.
I wanted so bad, like as a joke, like it'd be so funny, like Cass to be like, of course I did it for The Rock. Like, and just to like start cracking up. Dude, how about Enzo forcing out the tear?
The tear was good.
Yeah.
It was. I kind of wish that Jen would have seen it because it was like really like good. like emotional shit. I think a girl would have been really into that. I was into it, and I'm not a girl.
A girl or a loser,
and I don't have emotions. But Cass was believable because the things he was saying are kind of true.
Yeah, right.
If Enzo wasn't around, he would have been booked as a monster.
Right, and just the whole annoying thing, and which some people find him very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. So this is going to be set up. Cass will squash him, and he'll move on to bigger and better things. And what really happens to Enzo? Does he go to 205 Live? Yeah. Does he become like a manager type?
He should be a manager. That would work. That would be pretty good. Kind of like Titus now. Why is he going after Akira Tozawa so hard?
You know what? I like that they're like. I feel like there's storylines again. Like there's at least like building like storylines.
Yeah, they're sticking with stuff.
It seemed like we have Goldust and Truth. And they keep doing those backstage things every week, but at least like we're building storylines, and it's not just like I hope stuff doesn't drop off. We still have the Angle storyline going.
Yeah,
is Corey Graves now like the insider informant guy? I have all this stuff because he's the one that busted Cass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, because it's like every week now when you watch, you're like, oh wait, they didn't talk about the Enzo and Cass thing yet, or they didn't talk about the Goldust. Like you remember the 4 or 5 storylines going, and you're like, all right, they got to talk about this, and then something new comes up.
So Cass, okay, like what I just said, he's gonna crush whatever. They'll probably even rush it into Balls of Fire. No,
they should just have a one-on-one.
Right.
Yeah,
crush him. Do you think then SummerSlam is gonna be Cass show puts over Cass?
Oh, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, that's a good prediction. I didn't even think that far ahead, but yeah.
I'm always thinking ahead. I should be booking.
You should be.
Vince, if you're listening to this week, I know. Yeah. No, this week. I'm sure he doesn't listen every week. The guy's busy.
That's true. He might not listen next week. We might not be able to record next week.
Oh, yeah, I'm in Vegas.
And I'm in D.C.
Wow. Yeah,
we're world travelers.
Yeah. We can. What would we be doing? Like a Skype phone call, phone to phone recording?
Yeah, but that always sounds so shitty.
And we could be like telling like, you're like, I'm in D.C. with... I don't even know who you're going with, but I'll be like, I'm in Vegas with my grandfather.
Yeah, we're not going. I mean, the cool part about my DC trip is, I told you before, I get to see Peyton Manning. It's going to be kind of a cool. I want to see what he talks about.
He's a guest speaker.
Yeah, he's going to talk about leadership and Papa John's, I guess.
Yeah, how big of is it? Like, how many people are there?
Supposedly like 1,800.
Okay,
1,800 attendees. So it's one of our bigger shows. I had to scrub a list of all the attendees and like go through like who. Do we
so are you going to like go up and meet him?
No, come on. I'm just a fucker from Trios. I'm not anybody he cares about. He's just there to talk about leadership. I can tell him I host a podcast, and when he wants to come on, he's more than welcome. But other than that, no.
My buddy just named his... My buddy's a big Broncos fan, and I was trying to guess names. Like, they didn't... The sex of the child was kept a secret. They didn't know. And I was like, all right. I go, if it's a boy, I'm like, I'm guessing John Payton, because he's a huge Elway fan, and Payton... And it turns out they did have a child, and they named it Peyton. It's a girl though. So, but it's still working. Yeah. So it's he was like, well, he's like, when you guessed, I was like, you had it for the boy, you didn't guess it for the girl. I was like, yeah, I didn't think about that. It's a chick's name too.
Did you bet on that?
No.
Oh, I'm like,
that'd be cool. I don't know where you would go somewhere like, I want action on my buddy's
like
name
amongst your friends.
Go to the bookie like, all right, I want 200 on this name being used.
Oh my god. So, anything else you want to look over this list of great shit I've got here?
Probably things you missed as usual.
Probably things I missed, but we had to talk about how fat we are.
Yeah, so. I enjoyed it. I mean, not how fat I am, but
yeah, no, being fat is the worst. And Sam's right. For me, it's alcohol, it's social drinking, and it's terrible.
You're drinking right now. Is this social?
This is social. I have a friend over.
We're not friends.
Well, I have a colleague.
Thank you.
Fellow podcast zillionaire, because we're making so much money off of this. Nick, if you're listening, where are those checks, baby?
I want to get checks like that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry's wrist hurt because he was signing all those royalty checks. I want to see like a million checks start coming like 7 cents. 11 cents.
Yeah, Nick, you don't have to wait for it to be a full dollar. If you just want to send us an 84-cent check, I'm cool with
84 1-cent checks. Just mess up the ATM.
I'm cool with that. Did you see anything on the list? Do you give a shit?
No, I was just going to say the only other thing I was thinking of that you didn't have on here was, and it's not even like something going on right now, but do you ever think that they're going to get rid of Booker T? I like Booker T on Raw.
Oh, I hate him.
Oh, you hate him?
I hate him on Raw. I mean, he's better than Otunga.
Yeah, Otunga's I like the dynamic of the Raw booth outside of Michael Cole.
I mean, I hate that Booker T says wrong shit all the time, but I guess that's kind of his thing.
What did he say wrong? I like that he's not like he's not solely a heel or face guy. I like that he plays like both ways, kind of. You know, he's not the typical like over the top like face is like he's a great guy.
I see your point, but he fucks up too many times. You know what I mean? Look at this. I wrote down a note from last week. Too much wrestling. I didn't realize that was there.
Oh, you know what I want to say too about Mojo? It was typical your hate for Mojo. Like, I'm just happy to be here. Him and Ryder in the back this week was typical. I'm just like, they should have been like, that's bullshit. Why do we need him? We won the over the top battle royal, and then they were like, that's fair. Okay.
Oh
like,
God, I hate it. I hate that. Yeah. You were probably thinking like, JB will love this.
Yeah.
No, I missed the Mojo segment.
I have no problem with Mojo. I've always been a big Ryder guy, so I'm waiting for this split to see like, you know, what happens.
I really think I'm the only person on the Tapped Out network that doesn't like Mojo. Like, there's such sheep on this goddamn network. Everybody's like, Mojo. Drives me crazy.
I don't love him. I think he has potential.
I think he got some kind of weird love.
He wants to work. He wants to work hard. He wants it. That's important.
He has a famous friend. He has a famous friend.
Yes.
End of story. That's the only reason he got over.
Listen.
That's it.
As you know, in the real world as well, it all matters who you're friends with and who has power.
Yeah. Well, I don't like it.
Well, me neither. But
I don't have to like it.
If he wasn't friends with Gronk, would he have had a much harder time? Yes. But I still think he's, giving his best effort. On to the bracket!
Coming down the aisle. All right, so we've got a couple older storylines.
This shouldn't even be friggin' close. This should be 98% to 2 on Twitter.
All right, well, we've got Hogan versus Andre, the lead-up.
The Hogan-Andre feud.
Hogan-Andre feud, I mean, which was, a year in the making? I don't know exactly the dates. I didn't do as much research.
Yeah, the WrestleMania 3, that wasn't. I mean, yes, they were always leading up to that, but the actual on-screen setup was not. But then you got to remember that carried all the way into 4 because that was the setup for 4.
Yeah,
the setup for 4 was Saturday night's main event, the rematch, Hogan Andre, Saturday night's, and then that caused the tournament for 4. So it was a long storyline.
Yeah, and then that is against the WCW Invasion of 2001, I believe. 2001.
Yeah,
because it was WrestleMania 17 when Shane McMahon had his boys up in the booth, which was a bunch of WCW cast-offs.
Right.
So, what you want to take an angle here and run with it, or
Hogan Andre wins? All right.
No, you go ahead and talk. I'm going to make another non-alcoholic drink because I don't have a problem.
All right. So, I mean, growing up as a kid, this was the first feud I can remember is Hogan Andre. I mean, and I think the first WrestleMania I ever got was WrestleMania 4. And I got that because of the whole, Hogan Andre Saturday Night's Main Event, where Ted paid off the referee. Andre wins, gives the belt to Ted. So, anyway, this Hogan Andre feud, I mean, if you go back and replay it, I think, some of the stuff to me, it still holds up. I mean, the Piper's Pit.
The Piper's Pit was the ultimate.
It was built. Okay, so the Hogan Andre feud was basically this. Hogan and Andre were good buddies, good friends. Andre was a face. Hogan was a face. Hogan was the champ for almost, at that point, probably 3 or 4 years. And so they kept building this up on Piper's Pit over many, many weeks of segments. And they presented Hogan with a trophy. It was or they presented Andre with a trophy.
Yeah.
15 years or whatever, 20 years undefeated, which wasn't true. He lost many times. But WWE Vince is these idiots don't remember stuff. So they do that. They present him with the trophy. And then they come out and give Hogan a bigger trophy for being champ for 4 years.
Right.
And that kind of set everything in motion. Andre ends up linking up with Heenan, and we get some epic Piper's Pit moments where, I almost want to bring it up on actually YouTube right now just to remember exactly what he said when he grabbed Hogan by the shirt and ripped the cross off of him, and he caused him to bleed.
Yeah,
his chest was bleeding from either his fingernail or the cross ripping into him.
Because Andre is such a freak.
And then Hogan, maybe today if he was like this, people are oh, he's so far over the top or whatever, but I'm telling you, it was just he had charisma. That's why it worked. It never would have worked if he didn't have charisma.
Yep.
So it was And he goes, all you had to do, brother, is tell me you wanted it, and it was just so...
I just remember Hogan saying, the cross, you ripped the cross. Like, he said something along those lines, like, he got really upset. I don't think, was he supposed to rip the cross, or just the shirt?
No, I'm sure he was. I'm sure
really?
He was,
okay.
Yeah. But it was like... And then it was just like... And at this time, Andre was in bad shape. I mean, physically in really bad shape. The truth of it is, they didn't even know if he'd be able to go through with the WrestleMania match.
Right.
He basically had surgery just to be able to have this one last run. So, I mean, this Hogan-Andre feud, it freaking filled... I know they say 93,000, and I know that's not true. Those inflated numbers of the Silver Dome was probably 70-some thousand fans. WrestleMania 3, the epic, the first really big WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah, that was the one that became an event.
That's why everybody was there. Hogan-Andre. This feud is in the pantheons of WWE.
Nice work.
One of the biggest and most important feuds of all time. It had everything you could want. There's so many in my mind as a child memorable moments. I remember Hogan Bundy Saturday Night main event, Hogan Bundy. Camera cuts away after the match. Hogan starts posing. Camera cuts away so you don't see Andre getting up on the apron and freaking coming in and attacks Hogan from behind.
Yep.
And I can remember choking him.
Yep.
And I just remember the announcers Guerrilla, I think it was Guerrilla, building up so good. He's like, choking the life out of the World Heavyweight Champion. And Hogan, like I said the other week, Hogan could sell to death. Hogan looked like he was dying in this chokehold. And that's the thing, Roman Reigns never looks like... Now, granted, I know this coquina clutch, they're selling it differently and you just go out or whatever, but this chokehold, the faces Hogan made, you really thought he was in peril, which he was. Freaking locker room emptied. Do you remember the locker room emptied to try and get Andre off of him?
Yep.
It would come out first it might have been the Killer Bees, which Andre swatted away. And it was all the Jake comes out, Hacksaw the 2x4. Everybody's coming out finally to get him off Hogan. To me, this is just one of the biggies in the history of wrestling. Hogan Andre, they had a bunch of matches before this one, but WWE pretended they didn't happen. And when he slammed Andre, what is that top 3 iconic moment in WWE history?
It's got to be number 1, honestly. Yeah. It's probably number 1
the
actual moment, moment. I think that's the one you think of when you think of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't know what other.
If you're not if you're in your 30s.
Yeah, true.
If you're one of these 25-year-old kids, you're probably my moment is Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit celebrating, or something like that, or Daniel Bryan celebrating, which is great. True. But no, Hogan slamming Andre. So I have it up on YouTube right now. I'm just looking at it, and so you talk about your WCW invasion. Personally, this WCW invasion was something as kids you dreamt about forever. The dream matches, WCW versus WWF, and they fucked this up so bad.
So here's my thoughts on then I'll give you the backstory. Obviously, if you guys are listening to the podcast, you know about the Monday Night Wars. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. But
you might not. You could be too young.
It could be too young.
Whippersnappers listening, telling their parents, "I don't want to be fat mom like these guys."
You can only lose 4 pounds in 3 weeks, like Sam. Set out to lose 15 in 2 weeks, you idiot. Then you come over Friday and you drink beers with me.
I had 2 beers, and you were drinking Bud Light Lime. It's not like they were heavy beers.
Anyways, So 2001. Beginning of 2001, Vince bought WCW, which it was pretty much dead by that point anyways.
That was cool, though. I did like that. The simulcast where it was TNT and USA had the same thing.
Yeah, that was a really awesome moment there. But the whole buying out of WCW seemed cool at the moment until you started to see the guys. Because remember, then Shane. Shane bought it.
Shane bought it out from under his dad or whatever, basically.
So then Shane started hanging with WCW guys. And you started to look at them and you're like, Sean Stasiak? Who are these fuckers?
Meat. He was Meat in WWE.
Yeah. And who was the other
PMS, guy? Wasn't he the one where he would come out with
Chuck
erections
Palumbo,
or whatever?
Yeah, and Chuck Palumbo.
Chuck Palumbo's dead.
Really? You should look that up. Did you just kill him off?
No, I think Chuck got her. His soul's
Chuck
gone.
And Fred Ottman. So you started to see that the guys he was hanging with, he wasn't even hanging with DDP.
The guys, that's where they screwed this up. They didn't do the invasion with the top.
They should have waited until they signed Goldberg and things like that. And
there was no Goldberg. There was no DDP.
It wasn't until WrestleMania 18, a full year later, that the NWO showed up. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
Man, Chuck Palumbo's alive. Was he a tag team partner with somebody that's dead?
Billy Gunn?
I might be confused. No, Billy Gunn's alive.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I'll figure it out. Go ahead.
Mark Jindrak?
Maybe.
I think I may have got you on a trivia.
No, I'm trying to think the guy I'm thinking.
The WCW angle was cool in the... Here's the weird reason it's cool. Because it was done so terribly. It's remembered for being
it's remembered. Yes, I will agree with you. It's very remembered, but
it's remembered for being like a huge
one of the all-time letdowns.
Yes, yeah.
It was one of the all-time letdowns. So it was such
a cool angle that you thought.
You were wrong, by the way. The guy I was thinking of was Sean O'Hare.
That
was his partner. Yeah,
not Mark. Who was Mark?
God rest his soul. He was in WCW.
He was a guy, right? All right, yeah. Sean O'Hare.
By the way, it's funny you mentioned Chuck Palumbo because he was tag team champs with Sean Stasiak.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oops, sorry about that.
Is Sean following you on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he follows us.
But he's not verified though, so it's like not cool. It's to me, I feel like it's not a real Sean Stasiak.
You think a guy is fake being Sean Stasiak?
I see it. We have a lot of followers that are nobodies that follow us that are verified. I want a real Sean Stasiak for fuck's sake.
I'm pretty sure it's
Sean.
him.
If you're listening, and clearly you are because you follow us and Tapped Out, please get yourself verified so that I feel legit about this. He followed us early on.
His dad was the WWE champion, so him following us is a big deal, baby.
I just don't feel like it's the real Sean Stasiak. If he's the real Sean Stasiak, he would be verified.
You think he sends a thing to Twitter and Twitter's like, oh yeah, we know who Sean Stasiak is?
No, I'm just saying he should be verified.
When are we going to attempt to be verified?
Pretty soon. We're up almost to 600 followers.
How do you get verified? What's the process?
You have to send in your IDs and all kinds of shit. We can't because we're wrestling dorks. You have to send in an identification.
Yeah, but they won't verify anybody though. You have to be like somebody.
You have to be somebody, and you have to list credentials. I know this because I listened to Stern and Ronnie the Limo driver and JD.
Are they verified?
They're verified, but it took them a while. And you have to send in your identification and do all this shit and prove why you're famous. So. Anywho, I think the WCW angle was really cool. I'm not 100% sure if it beats Hogan Andre.
Really cool? What, cool how they fucked it up?
Yeah.
And we can make fun of it?
I think it's cool because it's a moment that you're it could have been so good.
Yeah, so, this ain't close to me.
Alright. Should we check the Twitter machine?
Yeah. If Twitter picked Invasion over Hogan Andre, I will officially make a post on Twitter deriding all these people that voted in this poll. That's what I'm deriding, yeah. I'm using some words tonight.
You are really using some words.
I'm gaining some vocab back.
Yeah, that's not bad.
The brain injury is going away. Mr. Coach Klein, the brain pain.
Oh, man. So, what
are the results? Can we get a drum roll?
Yeah.
Actually, for Dan, we should do it on the desk.
Yeah, no, please don't.
Did he ever say that with the new mic, how it sounds? Nice.
So the drum roll just happened. You probably couldn't hear it. It was so quiet. But the results...
you finally got to use that stupid app.
Yeah, the stupid app. Here we go. Wait. Here we go. No, wait. Can I get a drum roll, please? Final results. 57% to 43% out of 90 votes. WCW Invasion wins over
I'm telling
Hogan
you, the people that must listen to our show must be 20 years
However,
old.
I am picking Hogan Andre.
Yeah,
so it's 2-1. Yeah. I can't, in good conscience, as a wrestling dork and historian, born in the 70s, pick WCW Invasion.
I'm not born in the 70s, but I am 6'8".
But look at that. 90 votes. This isn't one of those 24 vote things. This is 90 votes.
Oh man, the DDT archives. I voted WCW. We're reading some of the comments out on the air. Hogan and Andre was great, but your standard feud. You know what? Get on this show, DDT archives. Standard feud. It only main evented one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time. Good Lord. Let's see what else we got. And we only got one more comment from Chip Hoowa. Well, if I could vote for Andre versus Air, I would. I remember when he somersaulted in the... Okay, I have no idea what this gentleman is talking about. No, I mean, we might be Andre versus when he somersaulted in the... I don't know what he's...
Yeah, I think we got ourselves an idiot. That's I think what we've got. But the DD archives, they make some funny points there. Your standard feud, I like that you're calling them out. So we need to get those guys on here, yeah. So there you go.
They advance.
There you have it. And we are down to one final first round matchup.
Who does Hogan Andre draw in the second round?
Hogan Andre is going to draw the Edge, Matt Hardy, Lita, Love Triangle.
Okay.
So we're going to have to, I'm thinking about this. We're going to have to really actually dig deep into these because we
covered them.
Have winners versus winners.
Right.
So we covered them. So we have to figure out why does one beat the other. You know what I was
thinking?
We have to
some of our angles are older, so it's tough. But the ones I know, you can almost look at ratings that were going on during the time.
That's what I mean. We almost need to, instead of picking we need to pick why does it beat this one.
Right. Or we need to come up with now, after the first round we go to a specific all right, the interest in the storyline, the execution, and then the long term. Yep. Obviously Hogan Andre I think was a perfectly executed storyline. Long term it still holds up, and it was very detrimental. I mean, not detrimental. It was very. It was the cornerstone of WWE. It's like we talked about the other week. Austin McMahon. That was very cornerstone for WWE during the time period, the Attitude Era. Well, this was part of the boom of WWE.
Can you believe those results?
Yeah.
You said you were going to go on and lambast all these people. So I mean,
I'm just going to make a post on my own, tag at the Wrestling Dorks, and tell them they're all.
And we got 1,600 people to view it, and only 90 voted. Where the fuck are all you people? Why aren't you voting?
You probably just kept giving those self impressions, because you self-flagellation.
Yeah. Can I just do this one more time?
So Isn't that a rim? Is that a rim shot, not a drum roll?
No, I don't think the rim shot's something totally different. It's I don't know. I don't think I have it on here, but I could bleep us on this.
Yeah, nice.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be a lot.
Yeah, you just constantly bleeping yourself. So that means that next week we have our final first round matchup that'll round out the bracket, and we've got the Summer of Punk against the Nexus.
Wow.
Yeah, the Nexus.
Two newer angles.
Yeah, newer angles. So finally, maybe you millennials will have something to when you're not playing with your.
I love how
iPod
we just said millennials probably or whatever 20-some-year-olds are listening, and we're running them down our audience.
Yeah,
that's what keeps them coming back.
It does.
We are different, baby. We are the Wrestling friggin' Dorks.
Yeah,
and we've gone 47 minutes this week. So get all your plugs in and wrap this baby up in a nice tight bow.
You want to end this already? I think we're having a good episode this week.
I think we are too, but we're running a little long in the tooth here.
The plugs long in the tooth. That's only me. I'm gonna be 38 in a month and a half.
Yeah,
you believe
Hogan.
That shit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Hogan.
Yeah, August 11th. I had the same birthday as the man who's probably gonna win this bracket. So we'll see. I'm gonna look up Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast.com. So if you go on tappedoutvwrestlingpodcast.com, you get all the good shit. Let me just tell you what happens.
What comes with it?
Yeah, what comes with it?
For just $9.99.
Yeah. All right. So on the website, I don't know why it started at the bottom. You can click to subscribe to us on YouTube. Jesus Christ.
Oh, no. iTunes.
iTunes, the Fight app, Stitcher, Google Play. You can. What is this? They talk about what we are. We're an Atlanta Blade. Fuck me.
Do you know how to talk?
No, I don't. I'm retarded. The latest shows are on here. The Legends Weekly Wrap-Up is right there. We got the top 10 tag teams of all time. Pro Wrestling Personified, which is our awesome ROH NXT podcast. You should listen to that. It's actually a pretty good show. Look at that. It's stuck. So and then you keep scrolling down. There's the schedule. Sunday. Look at this. Monday. Pro Wrestling Personified podcast.
Why did you say Sunday? You didn't say anything.
Tuesday. Oh, they have
this is what the actual
he actually updates it. It's not just okay, so Sunday Chip Day?
That's a guy.
Oh, Chip Day. It's not like eat Pringles on Sunday. It's a guy named Chip Day from Atlanta.
How about you just plug the shows that are on the podcast because that are on our and the actual shows.
All right, so we got Pro Wrestling Personified, which is Ring of Honor and NXT. Then on Wednesday is the Legends Weekly Wrestling Wrap-Up, which I listened to this morning. Excellent show. On Thursday is DDT Archives, which we're going to shit talk them. You already did, because they picked WCW over Andre and Hogan, idiots. And then we've got Guerrilla Press featuring the Wrestling Dorks on Fridays.
They just made the list.
Oh, the list of the dorks. And then this coming Saturday, we've got the interview with Conrad Thompson. You guys definitely check that out. I'm excited for that to drop, so I want to hear what that sounds like.
Are you sure that's not a week old?
No, it's a 2-part.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I already listened to. Okay, so they're coming. Okay.
So, anyways, check out and then also at the bottom we've got some links to our Amazon. You go on there, you buy shit through Amazon, which you can now buy groceries through Amazon coming up because they bought it at Whole Foods. And
so you're saying people should buy everything through Amazon and buy it through us?
My God, if every listener bought
everything
their
they did
grocery
through Amazon,
bill, their weekly grocery bill through the the tapped out Amazon link,
I'll tell you what,
those 84-cent checks would come rolling in.
And I'll tell you what, Nick would probably have Vince McMahon on as a guest.
Holy shit.
I think you could do it.
Vince would probably make an offer to buy out the network. And then those 84-cent checks would really be rolling in. So also, please follow us at Wrestling Dorks. You probably already are because we've got nearly 600 followers at this point.
Follow me at The Real SCAP.
He will tell you shit you don't need to know.
Follow at Tapped Out Pod.
Good work. Follow all the guys on the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. Definitely tune in because going forward, next week is the last first round matchup. Going forward, it's going to be really rough because it's going to be your picks versus my picks, and we're going to have to.
We actually fight about it. We should.
Oh my God.
We should have an actual.
You know what we should do? We should do a thing where we try to actually perform a move. You know what I mean? I want to put a figure 4 on you and see how it feels.
We've done all that.
Yeah, but as a kid, I'm talking about as a 34-year-old man. Let's see if you're actually snaps.
I mean, I would hope you don't actually try to break my leg. If I gave you a power bomb, would I try to break your neck?
I think people would tune in to hear. You know what? I think it's not a bad idea. Now, obviously not lifting moves because look at us. But I mean, moves that were
they can't look at us. They can't see us.
All right. Well, just imagine a circle with another circle on top. That's what we look like.
That's my artistic skills.
But you know what? After the bracket, that's what we're going to do. We're going to perform submission moves on each other, and we're going to record the audio, and we're going to say, how does this actually hurt?
Well, which ones? What moves are you suggesting?
I'm thinking the disarmor.
Listen, those moves if you want to make them hurt, you can. They don't make them hurt. Do you understand that?
I know. But the figure 4, the sharpshooter.
Yeah, well, that's painful, I think, for the guy putting it on, too, because to be able to hold my weight or your weight up like that.
I think it'd be interesting. It'd be a little gay, but I think it'd be kind of interesting.
I don't think it'd be gay at all. You think wrestling's gay? I don't think it's gay.
I don't think it's gay. I mean, we're not getting into, Speedos or anything.
So
please, are we?
No, but I mean,
I'm onto something. I'm just saying, nobody else is doing the bracket. Nobody else is putting moves on each other and putting it on the airwaves.
Putting moves on each other. All right, now I'm very liberal, and hey, not that there's anything wrong at all, but you just said literally putting moves on each other.
I mean,
wrestling holds.
Wrestling holds. Yes. Oh my God.
All right, we gotta go. You're out of control.
I've lost my marbles.
Would you please?
I gotta go back to my social drinking. We'll see you guys next week for the last first round Wrestling Dorks bracket matchup. I'm John, joined here by Sam. Thanks for listening, guys.